I strapped 10 pounds of lead to my waist to walk the seafloor in search of treasure. But this isn't your average beach. With over 5 million visitors a year, Waikiki's waters hide a wealth of precious targets just waiting to be uncovered. So let's dive in. And within my first 5 steps, we were already getting signals. It's a penny. And our second target was another penny. Alright, how many of you out there are going swimming with coins in your pockets? Because this is just crazy. Now, at first we were just getting slammed with coins, but I knew the ocean was hiding something much better. And the next signal was a bit hopeful. Now this one was much lower, definitely was not a coin, so I was getting excited because it was in the gold range. It had me there for a second. It was only a matter of time before we were on to something good, and this next signal sounded great. Oh my god, that reaction even scared me while I was editing my footage. I initially thought they were diamonds, and it's also really awkward trying to scream through a snorkel, so sorry for blowing out your speakers. And this signal was kind of weird, because it was really faint, which typically means it's deep, but it wasn't deep at all. Turns out, it was just really small, a little earring. Then we had another signal in the gold range, and I was holding my breath. Literally, I mean I was underwater, so. But we were duped by a darn beaver tail. Oh well, gotta dig it to find out. Now at our honey hole, we never find earrings because the waves are so intense, but this one, I was on my second earring already, and it wouldn't be long before we had our third. Because as I was swimming in the shallows, I noticed this area that kind of looked dug out, and there was something shining. Look at the size of that rock. And this earring looked like it had been freshly dropped, and also the fact that it was all dug out made me think that maybe someone had just been looking for it, because there was no one else with a metal detector around. So I poked my head up, tried to make eye contact with anyone who might have lost it there, but no luck. Guess it'll just have to join my hoard of treasure so I can continue to indulge my pirate fantasy. Nothing weird though, of course. Please not a penny, just anything but a penny. Oh, on second thought I'll take the penny. Now I've never seen this bottle cap before. Goose Island, I think? Alcoholics, be sure to comment down below and let me know, is this a beer? Who is fishing in front of the resorts in Waikiki, and how many children have you caught? Even in the 6'5" deep water, my size 17 Crocs were barely touching. At this point, I was getting pretty tired of the coins, so I decided to crank it up a notch. Back to our $10,000 honey hole. This place is absolutely littered with rings. And as though he were a paid actor, there is our second ring for the day. Now this one does look like tungsten, but it has a gold glint to it, so I'm excited to get it home and cleaned up. But this next signal sounded kind of weird, and the target itself was even weirder. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but is that a gold-plated pistachio shell? So much for escaping the pennies. In an attempt to escape the coins, we pushed out a little bit further into the waves, and this signal sounded kind of wild, but we're gonna have to fight the current to figure out exactly what it is. Between the waves ripping through every 15 seconds and the fact that this target was about 8 or 9 feet down, I was really starting to struggle. And after multiple dives and digging for what felt like ages, I saw something that was a bit out of place. If you guys have any idea what these keys might have gone to, let me know. Not sure why there's a number on there, but man, have they been down there a while. Six hours in, and I was finally starting to feel a bit fatigued. Mostly because of these. So I rested on the shore and watched the sunset, but hopped back in for one last target. And I'm glad I did. Not sure who's swimming around with live ammo in their pocket, but I fear for your well-being. We are back home and dried off. Got everything laid out for the day, and we got a decent little haul. So we'll go ahead and take a look at some items of interest. First, on the trash side, this was the last find that I had found for the day, and it is a live bullet. A 38, unspent, but what in the world was that doing in a little lagoon in Waikiki? I have no idea. Then we have got our set of keys. Now, it seems like a lot of the keys that we find out there, for some reason, have a number on them. I don't know if that's a hotel room, if it's a stall number, or what. Like, people are renting something, and they happen to lose those keys in the ocean. Not a very good day. Nonetheless, pretty crusty. Then over on the treasure side, tons of fishing weights, coins. We got this cool little cone snail shell. Now, you want to be careful when picking up these cone snails because these snails are highly venomous. If the snail is in there, it can send a little harpoon into you, give you a nice knock of poison. So I was very careful to make sure this guy did not have any little residents hiding inside. Then we've got a few little cheapo earrings. This earring was kind of cool. For one, super blingy. It does look like it's sterling silver. Unfortunately, it looks like someone had been looking for it when I had come across it because all the sand was dug out in the spot. I made sure to stand up, like look around, see if I could catch anybody's eye. Because if you're looking for something that you dropped, do with the metal detector comes by. Hopefully you'd recognize that he might have found it. Nonetheless, we did not find the owner of this lone earring. Now this little thing, I'm not quite sure what it is. It looks like a pistachio shell, but it is metal. And we're going to go ahead and throw it in with our two rings. We've got a tungsten ring and a silver ring. Throw it in the little acid bath that we got ready for it and see if we can't get any more clues.
Initially I thought that this one ring that we found at our honey hole might be tungsten, but man, it sure is shiny in there. I would not be surprised if it's got a little bit of gold tucked in there, which would be super cool.
Now to give the silver ring a polish, and it never ceases to amaze me just how shiny these things get.
But I think our shiny pistachio shell is nothing more than a shiny pistachio shell. Maybe it's a sports cup for a gnome. It's obviously something plated in a shiny metal. Maybe it was a piece of an earring and it just has broken off over time. But there goes that mystery.
And here's the money shot. Unfortunately, we did get catfish because that tungsten ring is nothing more than tungsten.
Well, that is another successful treasure hunt in the books. Had a blast. It was a really cool little spot that we got to check out. A little change of scenery. But as the waves ramp up into the summer season, I've got a few other spots that I want to branch out and explore apart from our main little stretch. Because this is truly one of my favorite things to do. And I'm so happy to be able to share it with all you guys. So, until next time, you guys. Ta-ta!